Hello everybody, let's do a DDD video. So maybe to my personal experience at first, so I started learning this deck, and while other decks, for example, let's take Chimera, or I deleted many decks I played. Well, other decks I played usually take me 1 to 2 hours to learn. This one took about 15 hours, so it's way more complicated than other decks, and probably the most complicated deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! So this video will focus on how you generate value, how you accomplish certain things, and no combo lines. I will link videos for combo lines. I think the best one did FAFNIR. When I learned the deck, he has a combo line for basically every hand in the game. It's very useful. So maybe to the ratios on the deck, I play 45 cards. It's fine to go over 40 if you have enough starters. So yeah, Rice Map is a bit unfortunate by paying half of your life points, because you take a lot of damage through your contracts, but yeah, I think it's still worth it. And 3 Nightmare Thrones, because they search your normal summon starters. So let's go over the most important cards, so you know what they're doing. Kepler is a 1 card starter, it's your normal summon. You can add a contract. I also cut 1 contract because it's just a brick. I don't know why people are playing it. It's the field spell 1. Where is it? Here. You want to foolish this one to special summon a DD monster from your graveyard, but you can already special summon so much in this deck, so I don't think it's worth running this card. Yeah, Kepler searches you one of your contracts. Then the other normal summon, you can also special summon him, but usually this is how you start your plays, is Copernicus. And this is a foolish of a monster, of a DD monster. Usually you can foolish your Necroslime. And yeah, let's go to the other monsters. So Necroslime is your fusion from your graveyard. Yeah, you'll go into the extra deck later. Then Lamia, which is also a tuner, which can come up. You can banish this card. You can special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. So you can also use her to get into Gilgamesh, because you need 2 bodies, and this can start your plays. The slime is a fusion summon from your hand, and it also helps you get certain cards from your hand to the graveyard. And in very unfortunate scenarios, you can fusion summon. I mean, he also has a graveyard effect, where you can special summon a card. Both of his effects are very strong, where you can banish this card and special summon 1 card from your hand, which can then lead you into Gilgamesh, or in very unfortunate states you have to use your fusion summon monster to go into Gilgamesh. So then Vice Typhon, a card which some people cut. I think it's worth running. I even play Foolish Burial. There's also fusion summon like Necroslime in your graveyard, and you can do the big fusion summon monster with it. So I think it's good. I would play this card. Then let's go into the Pendulum cards. Cerberus is usually used for your scale. You can adjust the level with it, so you can make a Kepler into a level 4 to go into a Wave King Caesar. Outthrows, a very important card off the deck. I usually like to see it in my opening hand. It's a tuner, so that's the only way not the only way, I mean, Lamia is also a tuner, but usually the most common way you get into Baron, or mostly a secret. Baron is more niche scenario. You can think there are plenty of videos how you do Baron, and DDD also will post a spreadsheet in the comments, in the info box, so yeah, it's unlikely you go into Baron, at least in your going first board. Yeah, and the scale effect is that you can pop 2 cards. You can also pop an opponent's spell trap, which, yeah, it's important when you go second. And Griffin is probably the strongest card of the deck. He has 4 effects and every single one is strong, so let's go over it. Or I just summoned up. So he is your special summon from your hand. If you have a, for example, Kepler, you special summon, you go into Gilgamesh. Then if you special summon from the graveyard, you can search your Headhunt, which is your interruption in your opponent's turn. You just snatch card, really strong. He doesn't even need to activate an effect like Deus Ex Machina has the condition for it. So yeah, and the scale effect is a bit more niche. So him, for example, together with Thomas, can do certain combo lines. You can just see them in the spreadsheet. It's a bit unfortunate if you have to go for them, but yeah, very strong card. Then let's go into the Oblivion King or Ragnarok. Maybe it's Ragnarok. He's usually your high scale. You just need to get over 4 in Pendulum decks. Not in every one, but in this one, because if you have a 5, you can special summon all the small ones. Yeah, he's usually your high scale, not all the time, and his Pendulum effect is that you can also special summon from your graveyard. You do have to be aware of that you do only half of the battle damage, so yeah, it's a bit hard to finish off the opponent on the second turn if you use his effect, so I usually try to go for a board that your opponent can't break and then finish in the turn after that. So yeah, even if you going second, it's a bit unfortunate you can't finish the duel there. Yeah, you have to go for another turn most of the time. Yeah, Thomas is also a high scale, as I mentioned earlier, with Griffin together, or him and Kepler. It's a 2-card combo and you use search Griffin and then you do stuff. Didn't come up for me that often. It's nice to have multiple high scales, but it's also why I run 2 Ragnaroks. If you happen to draw one, it can be a bit unfortunate. So if you have a Pendulum Zone up, you can't use Gilgamesh effect, so you want to Pendulum scale him with Gilgamesh, but yeah, you will get into the extra deck later. Yeah, Thomas, can't say too much about it. It's used for some combo lines. And Zero King Rage is your 0 scale when you have to Pendulum summon Kepler and him together with the other doggo, that's not the tuner, him. Are there some combo lines where you scale him and Cerberus, and with Cerberus you change him into a level 4, and if you have another level 4 on your field you can go into a Wave King Caesar. So yeah, also thought about cutting this card, but yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do it. So Foolish Burial, as mentioned earlier, a lot of monsters want to get into your graveyard, like those two for example. This one, Cerberus, can be useful in the graveyard, Griffin can be useful in the graveyard. Yeah, I think it's a good card. 1 for 1, a very great starter, doesn't use your normal summon, gets a monster into your graveyard, and special summons your servant. Very nice. Yeah, the consistency cards, Rise Map and Nightmare Throne. Yeah, searches your normal summon starters. Contract searches you every card in the deck. Yeah, nothing more to say for it. You also use this card when you have Machinax up, destroy this card, and then you can use Machinax effect without having two materials attached. So one contract together with Machinax overlaid over your Gilgamesh are two cards you can attach as a material. So yeah, very strong interruption. Dark Contract Swamp King is your fusion summon. You can fusion summon from everywhere except your extra deck. So yeah, very strong. You do usually your Flame King. Yes. Yeah. Coldplay Grave and Designator, because obviously you don't want to get hand trapped, and anti-max C card. And I play 3 Impermanence because I think it's the best trap, even though you have to be aware of when you have your pendulum scales up, this one up, and your headhunt up. You have no space to place infinite Impermanence going first, but I think it's still worth running this card. So let's now get into the extra deck. The first fusion summon card. So this one has 2 purposes. When you fusion summon it and you special summon a DD monster from your graveyard, I think, or anywhere else. It's usually the graveyard, that's why I'm not sure if it also triggers everything else. You can special summon again from the graveyard. So yeah, we will get to it. This effect will be important to get into secret, and you want to special summon him twice. As mentioned earlier, we have many ways to fusion summon, like Lamia. You usually use Necro Slime and Swamp King to do both of those, and both of them are Wave King Caesar, which is probably already known from Shavara cards, the Abomination cards, whatever you wanna call them, Unchained cards, yeah, from Ubel. Yeah, this card is from DDD. Very strong interruption. When your opponent special summons from a monster or spell trap, you can negate that and destroy it. Yeah, it's not your... You can't use this card to be Nibiru safe, but it doesn't come up. I mean, you special summon more than 5 times before you get into him, but yeah, if your opponent misplays, you have a Caesar up when he wants to Nibiru you. Then into the other fusion summon card, which unfortunately looks almost the same. Both have a big shield. Yeah, he has the same effect that he special summons a monster from your graveyard when you special summon it, and he is a spell trap negate. However, I'm not sure when this works because you negate the activation. I think that's a crucial part, unlike him who negates the effect. I think this leads into some situation. So, for example, you can negate your own contracts when you're about to die, for example. You can prevent that by using his effect. But I could also use him when my opponent used, for example, Transaction, Rollback. I could negate the activation with this card, so yeah, very strong. He's also level 8, and Secret is level 8, and Kali Yuga, which is known for locking the opponent in different decks everywhere else except DD. Yeah, you can make Kali Yuga on your own turn, which can be useful. I mean, you only do this here in your own turn in this deck. Yeah, also ripping all these spell traps, also very useful effect. So, however, there is a line where you can, or a variant where you can DTD your opponent in their turn and to do that you have to run the armored exes package, where you use this card. You can also just slap this card in if you want, because you can exit summon in your opponent's turn, and you use those two cards, for example, or another level 8 card, have them on the field, to go into Kali Yuga. Yeah, I want to try these lines eventually. Maybe I will do an updated video when I go for them, but yeah, usually you're going first boards are strong enough, as we will see, for even some going second decks. Yeah, we'll show some replays at the end of this explanation part. So yeah, that's Flame King, High King, Genghis. So this is your spell trap negate, which is also the most complicated part of the deck, of getting him out, because as mentioned earlier, our only tuner is Orthos, and here where it gets complicated, because you need, for example, you need Orthos in your hand to fusion summon, to get Orthos in the graveyard, to special summon him from the graveyard on the field to get into Secret, or you send him to the graveyard with one of the many graveyard effects, special summon him there, and then get into your synchro summon. So, but the easiest part is when you have him in the hand and just special summon him, or pendle summon him, or use his own effect, because he can special summon himself when you take damage. So yeah, for example, you use him from your hand, Swamp King to fusion summon, then special summon from the deck, from the graveyard with him or him, then you have him on the field, and yeah, that's how I do it. He also locks you into Fiends, so for example, a Baron 9 is where you normal summon him and then go into Baron together with flanking Genghis. Yeah. So this card, Wave King Caesar. Be aware that you can't use this normal effect, and you know what it does. You just want this card in your graveyard. Then you can search a contract. You can also overlay him with Marksman Kingtail, which in a normal combo, but you can go into both effects. You, for example, use him, get into the graveyard, special summon him again, overlay into Marksman, get him into the graveyard, and this is a foolish effect. Foolish any card. Yeah, and he searches you a contract, which is really useful. Then into High King Caesar, yes, mentioned earlier. 2 level 6, very strong. Kali Yuga can come up. Yeah. Deus Ex Machinex, you can overlay him over your Xyz cards. For example, you can overlay into him, just to get him into more materials, but usually what's enough, you overlay him over Gilgamesh, and you have enough sucks with your... So sucking an opponent's card is material. So your contracts, 2 contracts are ready to sucks, and then he has his own material from the opponent to get another card, but usually the opponent surrenders whenever this happens. And DDD Gilgamesh, so yeah, his effect is not once per turn, I think, or once per copy, yeah. However, you use this card to get cards into your graveyard, like, it's nothing. You also, which is important, you have your Gilgamesh up, that's why you probably need 2 Machinex. Get into Machinex and trigger your fusion monster with it. So yeah, that's why you probably need 2, but you can get away with 1 Machinex here. It's also worth mentioning, without this card, for example, this deck is really cheap. You can also cut those 2 And yeah, probably the impermanent, get one from your the package, one ash. Yeah, probably. I mean, Culprider Grave is really necessary. Yeah. The stack is really cheap. That's what I'm trying to say. Your deck specific URs are only him, the fusion, the synchro, and one of him. You don't even need Baron, it won't come up that often. And you can also cut Kali Yuga, it won't come up that often. So this is how the deck... Oh, at least I try to explain what the cards do and what they... what you try to accomplish. So let's see some gameplay. Just go into here, place. So my opponent's playing Ancient Gear, and he sent me first. I mean, he didn't draw any board breakers. Did troll and lockboard me at the beginning. Yeah, so let's see our hand. It's a... you can search Kepler with it. Copernicus, we have our normal summon hand. And as mentioned earlier, him in your hand. It's usually your synchro summon. So yeah, I started with adding him to play. If I started with Kepler and he gets negated, that would be unfortunate, so I try to play around Ash here. I do get trolled, I have called by the Grave. Because we're adding quite a few cards. I mean, you don't add that much. I'm not that sure how this deck plays into draw, but if I have Cold Prime, just use it. So yeah, I'll use it right now, so I need that draw. It's a very common thing, you play him and get access into Griffin. Griffin and him in Gilgamesh. Sits your scales. I just special summon, I could also synchro summon him. So now I use the Copernicus effect because I had him in the extra deck, I think. Yeah, and sent a Necrosnime, which is the fusion. So this is what you see there. Then I went into 2 level 4s, get into Caesar, then overlaid him again to get him into the graveyard and to Gilgamesh. And then he activates, and that's also how we get our Pendulum monsters into the graveyard, because usually when they're destroyed, they get into the extra deck. Search the another fusion card. So the cards we don't need most of the time are those two. Our Genghis. And this is what I mean, you special summon with him, and then special summon with him. Griffin searches you any card. Usually you search Headhunt, but sometimes you also search Orthus, your synchro. Oh yeah, now you go into the other one to get the Foolish effect. And we do all of that stuff while not being in the mirror safe though. Yeah, not much we can do about it. I think this was our 3rd copy of Gilgamesh, yeah. So we really want to get a strong enough board to not go into a grind game or something like that. So I got into another King Caesar together Necrosnime, and I foolished with him the big fusion card. Which we'll see soon, so I activate him and to do the other fusion monster. Just need a level 5 or higher card. And if he didn't use his effect, because we need one open spot for our sack, I could also special summon Machinex into the link zone, but yeah, there's nothing in the graveyard we want anyways. This is probably the strongest board you can do, or most commonly you want those three cards: Siegfried, Hiking Caesar, and Machinex. And yeah, your headhunt set. So yeah, Hiking is a special summon negate, he sucks opponent's cards, he is a spell trap negate, and he can also negate sometimes. And another normal summon, Snatch. So yeah, no idea what Agent Gear does, I just see searches a spell and has another effect. I just negate that. We snatched this normal summon because you could tribute him and I couldn't snatch him, so I used my trap. Yeah, that's how it works. He activated his effect. I take him. You do have to be aware that he can chain block with spell cards, and yeah, then you can use this effect. So special summon again. I negate that. I still had another Machinex Snatch, or two more, so yeah. And he did send me first, by the way. So another. You can take a look if he had some board breakers, because Swiss board breakers would probably get further into his place. Now I start. So we have a 3-card combo, quote unquote. 3 engine cards. Yeah, 3 good ones. I use Ash from XC, so I have Cold Pry for another hand trap, so I'm safe here. Sage Griffin, so very similar to last time. Special summoning. So I didn't need to go to send the small one into the graveyard because I already have both contracts. Send the Necro Slime, special summoning him. And I already have an Orthos in the grave. I wonder how I sent him there. Or did I start it in my hand? Didn't start in my hand, I did. So that's how... Oh, okay, I sent him... Yeah, that's what I sent him with Marksman King Tell. That's how I got access into Orthos, so... Now we have Secret. And summon again. On to Hiking Caesar. Alright, this time we don't have the big fusion card, but yeah. We don't need that, that's your common end board. So I don't know if it helped him if he... Because that's an Omni negate, or... No, it's... Okay, it's a monster effect, so he couldn't even do much about it. Yeah, very strong interaction, this headhunt. It's playing 3 elements together with the Repel cards, and yeah. I negated that, and I negated the spell. So the only thing, because I have to stop here because he's surrendering soon, the only thing he could done there is to go into Kid Kalos, and when he activates his effect, I take control of him, I attach him as a material with Hiking Caesar, and the effect still went through from him with the Foolish cards. I think he sends cards into the graveyard, and when he specials something again, I just attach it again, so yeah. Not much you can do. Surrenders. Yeah, it's a strong endboard you do play. However, going second, your only win condition is by interrupting your opponent with hand traps and having a weak enough board to yeah, to finish him. I mean, that's I still had this card here, so weird hand. Yeah, my opponent doesn't have the strongest deck. Yeah, however, I just want to show you what going second tools you have here. And you've seen those combos. I mean, now we saw the line where you change the levels with Cerberus to go into hiding to the Xyz card. So that's weird, right? You can special summon him. So I used the King Tail to reduce his attack, and his effect is to you can destroy one monster, so that's value. Send this guy to the graveyard, get his effect, and destroy an opponent's monster. Yeah, that's enough attack damage. So the only way how this happens is when, yeah, you probably had hand traps to stop their opponent's board from being too strong, and then get into your own place. But as mentioned earlier, if you special summon, as you use his pendulum effect, you can't finish him off usually, so you have to make just the same board as you do when you're going first. So yeah, that's the DDD guide, or however you wanna call it. So final thoughts on, and you can see if the Ancient Gear player did play board breakers. Yeah, 3 of them. We also had, yeah, Super Poly would be unfortunate, but we could have negated Lightning Storm, and yeah, I don't know, I think I would negate it, Heavy Storm and Harpy's Feathers as well. And we didn't had Maxi or Gamma. Yeah, so we drew just mostly Engine, unfortunate for him. So yeah, final thoughts on DDD. It's a combo deck like every other, to be fair. It's just more complicated to play. Going first, you set up really strong boards, with a unique mechanic of Deus Ex Machina X, sucking up your opponent's cards, really very strong interaction. The small monsters have funny names with Kepler, and they're all scientists. Copernicus, although I have to say he looks a bit weird, but Copernicus, really cool artwork. The Astrologic, that's the right name, who said the sun is in the middle and you see it here, the earth, everything is around it. Very cool. Then you have these Greek mythologic cards with Griffin, half, yeah, bird, half, whatever. And the bigger ones, which are also very cool monsters most of the time. For example, Deus Ex King Machina X, one of the coolest cards in the game, as I would say. Or Kali Yuga, also really cool card from the artwork. Yeah, you have cool artworks, cool mechanics. You fusion summon here, you synchro summon, you XC summon, and you link summon. You pendle summon. So yeah, it's going second. You have your weaknesses, you have to draw your on engine, your hand traps, but going first you want to see, yeah, as much engine as possible, as in every deck, but in DTD you have 2 card combos, 3 card combos, so yeah, that's why I wouldn't say this deck is super broken or anything. It's definitely fun to play when you've mastered it, when you have your cards. It's like solving a little puzzle, at least at the beginning. When you play the deck a bit more, it's, yeah, it's easier. Yeah, I like the deck. I will probably play it more since I know how it works now. I can definitely recommend this deck, even though the beginning is a bit hard to get used to it. Yeah, but it's nothing super strong. For example, if you know this deck, you are the best player in the game. I think even the board we saw with the 3 card combo board we saw with DDD, it's probably weaker than 1 card Snake Eye Ash combo, so maybe it's not, maybe it's stronger a bit, but if you want to win games, you probably play Snake Eye. So that's it with DD. I hope you liked this video. Bye.